We are back at Lookout Primary School for the fourth part of our discussions on this Wildlife Home number 6 in our Adopt a Home for Wildlife project. The pupils and their head teacher discuss future ambitious ideas and some advanced concepts such as invasive plants and animals, one of the students having to fight off one of the latter.
The reed tree provides a lot of shade.
It does. It does provide shade. As I said, it has its benefits and it also have its dangers as an invasive. But once it's controlled for the most part and you're able to control invasives, for example, guava and mangoes are also invasives for Montserrat, for this region. But if you control them, you'll have them in your lot. You don't allow the seeds to disperse everywhere and grow up. So it takes and shades out other plants that could be growing. Then if you're able to do that and control it, you're doing well with that invasive. So although they're invasive, the issue comes when they're not controlled. They're not attended to at all.
And that was a big problem at Cork Hill.
And Cork Hill.
And of course they couldn't go home to Cork Hill.
Yes.
The Java plum took over the houses.
Those blackberries, you know the blackberry trees?
Yeah.
It grew all through the houses, all over.
Yeah, Cork Hill has
because although you can use the blackberry for wine and drinks and lots of other stuff, they were not controlled, so it became invasive. It is an invasive plant because it has the potential to spread all over and take over the lot and the land and even into your houses.
Well, of course, not all the plants brought here take over. So that's why the botanist can help and say, this one you've got to watch, this one try and keep out, and so on.
So last year our field was actually green, but this year it's like when all the greenery comes back, all the butterflies and all the birds seems to come, and when the trees are being grown and forcing them their way to come over the fence, that's when I see that butterflies and cattle egrets and all kind of types of species of birds are coming into our school compound to nest and to eat and to feed and those stuff.
Yeah.
So I noticed you said last year we had lots and lots of greenery, and now this year, well now around this time of the year you realize that the grass is a bit dull. Why do you think so, please? Why do you think that the grass is a bit dull? Right now you were complaining saying that the sun is very
hot.
The sun is very hot.
And
so why do you think the grass is getting a bit brown on the side?
Because recently it was dry season from the summer and there was not a lot of rain, it was just the plain stuff.
Right, and continue. So because we don't have lots of what around here? Lots of lots of trees, shady trees.
Yeah.
So if you realize we're in the open, so obviously our field is not going to be fully green because the sun is out shining brightly. It's hot, so this grass gets scorched. Just like how we as humans can get scorched, plants can get damaged also. So this project would help us now when we start planting trees all around. It would serve as a barrier, as a protection for our field, and in time to come we would have lots and lots of nice thick green grass.
Right, and let me explain that just a little bit more. Because right now everything comes straight through your fence. Imagine if you had a hedge there, then that would add some protection to the field because you're in a dry area. Your grass will stay green a little longer. It will get dry.
Yes.
It will change from time to time because the leaves will not stay there. Ultimately, green, it goes through a cycle the same way, but it will bounce back quicker where there's more moisture to help.
What harmful effects can the sea blast have on the plants? That could be a follow-up question.
It can cause erosion, so like they will drown the plants.
So the salt in the atmosphere is what we call the sea blast. It's the moisture that is coming from the sea blown in the wind. So it brings the salt in the water that would.
And then
So
it
wouldn't ruin all plants, but there are some plants that can get ruined.
Which is why with the Adopt a Home for Life Wildlife project, we look at your habitat type. And based on your habitat type, there's certain plants that will do very well. They can withstand the sea blast and so on. So for example, if you had grape trees here, it would do absolutely nothing to the grape trees.
That's the sea grapes?
Yes, sea grapes. As opposed to you having another soft fruit tree here, where it requires a lot more. Where it requires a lot more moisture for it to grow.
So maybe that's an idea for us to get some sea grapes.
Yes, so don't worry, we have your list together.
Yes, some sea grapes.
If we get a hedge around the fence, that the plants will become more greener.
Yes. So the hedge, the whole idea, so what you will see in your project and the approach we're taking is to have some form of wind barrier in place to help keep the moisture to then allow other plants to be able to grow here. So some of those fruit trees that your teacher spoke about, those would do better once they already have that shade and that wind breaker. You wanted to say?
How would we get to now the soil is very hard. How would we get it back to be moist?
To get the soil moist, first of all, there's certain parts of your soil that will require a topsoil. So there's no, if we were to do a soil test, the humus level here is thin or non-existent. That means that the layer, you see as you go there, that helps to keep that moisture for that plant is not there. So it means that when you put a young seedling into the plant, unless you have mulches around it, and as we mentioned again, key is having your windbreaker, it would dry up very quickly and die. And so you find that a lot of your plants that were planted here before with some of the other organizations, they died because you don't have that type of protection here.
As I was trying to say, if you've got plants which are naturally resistant to salt, like the sea grape, grows along the shore, they can provide the first layer of defence and you build up gradually from there.
Yes.
Simeon, you want to make a contribution?
Also,
look into the camera.
Also, the birds and the different insects would make their different sounds, and we could learn about the different sounds that they make, and it would actually sound nice. Like in the night when the crickets and the frogs make their melodious noise and make you go to sleep easily.
And you can also look at the movement. for the little children in kindergarten grades K1 and 2 that looks at sounds and movement of animals. Having our own ecosystem here, you bring them out onto the field, and that is a rich experience for them.
Like talking about the grade K children and stuff, like before when we were over there we said about only grade 3 to 6 learns about ecosystems. Now if we actually have like the trees around here and stuff with the birds coming in, the grade K to 2 can learn about it easier, so when they reach grade 3 they have a hang of it.
Alright, so they have the foundation. Because they do look at it there, but not in depth as you would do. So as a very good point, Vontae. Very good.
And also, there will be a lot of things to do. For example, the little children, as how they're afraid of the different insects and animals, they will learn to adapt to seeing the animals around them and not be afraid of them.
And like if we have a botanical garden and the bees and stuff come in, the children can come and see how they actually go and work and how they do what they have to do to make their honey.
And nice, especially if you were able to get the stingless bottle bees, which are stingless honey making bees. And we do have a hive at the Montserrat National Trust compound.
So you all have honey.
On the Eco Play lot, there is one right there on the side of the road. Lots of people may pass it and not realizing that it is a hive, but it is
there's honey there? Have you all ever gotten honey?
We've tried the sap, but we haven't gone further to disturb the nest to see what's in the chamber of it, because it's in the trunk. They tend to use the trunk of the tree. You could actually cut that trunk and take it.
Don't do that. That's one of the things we're researching.
Like in Alveston, my auntie just built a new house, so like she is very into agriculture and gardening. So when you go up into her yard, you won't see one clear space other than the parking lot.
Okay,
Filled.
good.
So she loves
Pumpkins
plants.
and
Well, that's good.
kind of
Remember, we want to
everything.
eat from the where? From the land.
And also, since they're talking about honey, since there's going to be a lot of flowers and things around, we can actually make our own bee farm and get honey for ourselves.
Yes. For sale. Right? Yes.
You're so full of ideas. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, you all a good
And we
job.
can also have like a chicken coop. So that's when like the chickens have eggs and stuff, we
Sell
can
the
sell
eggs.
the eggs.
Right,
Instead
and
of
we
us,
make
instead
money.
of people going to the shops and buying expensive eggs.
Yeah, 25. Then we can do our own plucking.
Oh, and we can also do charity.
And we can also study about the chickens and what they don't eat and what they like.
So as you move on, because the garden and the field will not necessarily be where you envision it before you leave Lookout Primary School, it'll be good that you form a club that comes back and help with
assist.
gardening or anything to do with botany.
To fulfill the mission.
Yes, to see it go through. Even if you're at secondary school, you can still have. Back then, we used to have 4-H clubs, which primarily focused on just what we're doing in terms of conservation, vegetation and planting and dealing with our biodiversity. So that could be something that you can create and have more of the students of Lookout Primary School or past students of Lookout Primary School helping to see this vision come alive with the new flora that we'll put in to help the school thrive in that area. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No, we should be thanking you because you've obviously got tremendous ideas and you're going to be doing a fantastic job. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
you